So, I opened my Digimon archive the other day to add some recent hatches, and I realized I had no space left. Because, I have a problem. And it got me thinking about how many Digimon I really loved. Like, yeah, there are ones that are iconic, like Omnimon or Beelzemon, but there are so many more obscure ones, like Skullmeramon and Eightmon, and they rarely get a chance to shine, especially in games like DMO. So today I decided to put together a list of my top 10 favorite Digimon of all time. Now, because I'm long-winded, and because it's impossible for me to make decisions, this list, of course, has more than 10 Digimon on it. So it's more like a tier list of all my favorites, and I'll say a few things about why they've made the list. But yeah, okay, let's get right to it. Number 10, Hawkmon and Poromon. So we're starting off strong with my favorite Digimon from Season 2 of the anime. I'd like to say that they became my favorite for some grand reason, but honestly I think I started liking them because my family kept buying me toys from the whole line. I still have my Hawkmon talking figure on my desk.
Hawkmon Armor Digivolve!
And I have a plushie of Poromon in storage that is so disgustingly dirty, it shows how I used to take it everywhere with me, telling people that that was my Digimon partner. Other than that, Hawkmon's character reminded me a lot of Owl from Winnie the Pooh, which I loved, and I really loved the color red at the time, so it was a winning combination. Sora and Biyomon were some of my favorites from Season 1, and I feel like Yoli and Hawkmon built on that in Season 2, especially with his armor evolutions. As for Poromon, look at it! It's so cute! Number 9, Wargreymon X and Black Wargreymon. Continuing on with the anime influencing my decisions, we have arguably the best character in Season 2 with Black Wargreymon. And we have the coolest Digimon out of all the X variants from the X Evolution movie. Like, look at Wargreymon X and tell me that that's not the most badass Digimon you've ever seen. The claws, the jets, the hair, the bod. I raised my Agumon on DMO specifically to unlock Wargreymon X. Yeah, not OX, just his Mega. And with Black Wargreymon, everything is cooler when it's emo. Charizard? Cooler. Dronzer? Cooler. Rainbow Dash?
It needs to be about 20% cooler.
Anyway, the story surrounding his character was highly reminiscent of my favorite DBZ character, Majin Vegeta, all the way up to his sacrifice and redemption arc. So it's a no-brainer why an already awesome-looking Mega getting the virus treatment made it on this list. Number 8, Mach Galgamon and Betel Gamamon. So these entries are coming in as a result of DMO and the Vital Bracelet. With DMO, I've been playing since launch, so I don't exactly remember how I found out about it. But what I do know is that Galmon was the coolest looking starter to me. And before you Falcomon fans get upset, at launch it wasn't an option to pick. I've always been a secondary protagonist girl, and usually that means all the Wolf Digimon, so I pretty much based my choice on that. It really had nothing to do with the anime, as I'd stopped watching Digimon after Season 3, but after playing for a while and slowly, and I mean slowly, leveling up and unlocking higher Digivolutions, I came to find Mach Galgamon, and I loved him. So much so that the Digivolving Galgamon to Mach Galgamon figure is the first one I'd ever imported from Japan. As for Betel Gamamon, I've been interested in the Vital Bracelet for years, and I think I'm finally going to bite the bullet and get one. But Digimon marketing really worked its magic this time, and one of the first dim cards I'd seen in action was the Gamamon one, and specifically the Betel Gamamon evolution. I thought it was really, really cool looking, and when it inspired me to watch Ghost Game, I really liked it then. Once DMO gave us a Gamamon for free, I just got to use it more, and now it has a forever place on my list. Number 7. Aquilamon! No, really, Aquilamon and Halsamon. Of course some of Hawkmon's evolutions made this list. I mean, I was debating putting all of them on here, but ultimately I decided that these two eked out above the rest. I do have the American Digivolving Shurimon figure, and Sylphimon was my favorite Jogress from Season 2, evident by the fact that I have the Godamon talking figure right next to my Hawkmon. But I've always dreamed of having both the Japanese and American Halsamon figures. It was always so cool to me. The stockiness, the ability to fly, the voice. He was just awesome. And the intro card revealed just how I feel about Aquilamon. Similar to shouting War Greymon's name, certain Digimon just evoke that feeling, you know? I mean, like I said before, I was a DBZ kid, so randomly screaming names and attacks on the playground was our idea of fun. Aquilamon just captures that essence of my childhood, so I guess that's why I can never forget it. And number 6 is where my sanity just dropped off and I couldn't make a decision between 4 Digimon, so number 6 is Xvmon, Flamedramon, Raydramon, and Gargoylemon. Yeah, I know, it's a bad look to have 4 Digimon side by side like this, but look at them! How am I possibly expected to make a decision when they're all so cool? Xvmon's got the dinosaur dragon thing going on, Flamedramon's got the fire shadow boxer aesthetic, Raydramon is what Dark Beast Parl from Bloodborne wishes he could be, and Gargoylemon is one of the hardest looking Digimon there is, and it's such a shame that it's not in the show. And that's not even bringing up all the Digivolving toys that I want to collect. Particularly the Flamedramon toy is somewhat of a holy grail for my figure collection, and if it weren't for my money funding my gaming habits and my plushie addiction, I would absolutely track one down in mint condition ASAP. But really, all of these evolutions are why I yearn for a rebalance on DMO. I so badly wish these guys were viable to use outside of, like, the Chimeramon dungeon. It's a shame that really only Magnamon is useful, because the other designs, in my opinion, easily beat it out. And number 5 is shockingly one Digimon. Like, I did it! I was able to pick one. That only happens twice in this whole list, so I'm so sorry. But number 5, Magnadramon. This Digimon right here is the reason that I forgive all the Digimon movies and the 2020 anime for their faults. I absolutely adore my pink dragon lion dog angel thing. Truly. This thing's ride mode was my go-to when DMO released Salamon. While everyone was busy zooming by on their behemoths or Granies, or being carried by their Victory Greymons and Metal Garurumons, I was gently floating behind them, perfectly content, even if I was late to the party. There were many instances where my old guild would be carting, and I'd take ages to cross the western maps to reach them. I can't even tell you really why, because there's no real reason why I latched onto this thing so much. It certainly wasn't the color. I grew up absolutely hating pink. It was girly, and I grew up as a tomboy in the 90s, so I wanted nothing to do with it. I think what I liked was the fact it looked so cute and soft, like a plushie amongst all the really tough-looking metal-accented Digimon. Those cute tiny wings, those fuzzy paws, the pretty green eyes and the fluffy mane. Other than that, it's just a solid pick for no real reason. I can confidently say, though, that it's my favorite Mega out of the original kids' Digimon. And we're back to the 2. Number 4. Hackmon and Gammamon. Well, Gammamon's placement here is specifically because of Ghost Game. Like, yes, he's adorable, but it's his gluttony and absolute willingness and readiness to throw hands that makes me adore him. Like, that little dino ball of pent-up aggression is the perfect partner for me. When DMO gave us the free Gammamon egg, I unfortunately got it as a 4 out of 5. It then took 42 hatchback up 5s and copious amounts of terror to buy mid-data in order to hatch him at a 5 out of 5. It was worth it, though, because look at him. I love him. Hackmon, on the other hand, well, I know his involvement in the Tri movies is a thing and all, but honestly, I just love his design. The rough, battle-worn, lone traveler look is right up my alley, and that's really all I need to put him on this list. His evolutions are cool and all, but I think his rookie is the best looking out of all of them, and that even includes Jesmon X. Hackmon also came as a 4 out of 5, but I decided to risk trying to input mid-data into it, but without a hatch backup. I got super lucky and it hatched as a 5 out of 5, so that probably contributes to why I love it so much. And number 3 is my favorite from the Digimon Adventure original series, and that's Goemon and his evolution Ikakumon. There's a reason why Goemon is my chat censor on DMO, and that's because of just how damn sassy he is. Like, he absolutely loved teasing Joe, and that was what made him so great. But truly, he cared about his tamer so much. That's why I loved Ikakumon's introduction. It showed the culmination of their bond, the growth they'd gone through as partners. I remember cheering on the other kids when Tai and Matt, and later TK and Kari, got a lot of the glory. But when Gomamon sees that Joe's attempt to be reliable backfires, and it lands him in danger, and then he lets out that fearful scream and dives in, triggering his Digivolution to save him, just awesome. And then we see that same drive to keep Joe safe, again, when Ikakumon digivolves into Zudomon. Like, Ikakumon is fully invested in a battle, and everything just stops in order for him to save Joe. But really, Gomamon is so cute, and I love his little mohawk and his flippers. Watching him bounce around behind me as I run around on DMO makes me so happy. If I didn't love some of the other rookies on this list so much, I'd probably pick him as my partner. Oh look, it's the only other solo on this list, and also my favorite Digimon of all time for the longest time until recently, and that's number 2, Demi-Meramon. I've loved this little guy for ages, and I remember his OG art being on a school folder I had back in the late 90s or early 2000s. He was cute, and somehow I found out that he was the embodiment of evil in one tiny little fireball. And for a little angry kid, that was right up my alley. Similar to how I love Gamamon now. Once I saw him on DMO, I had to have him. And, well, that was well before the addition of Genkamon to his line. I just absolutely adore him. But if I had to elaborate, his evolutions are really cool too. Meramon's episode being the catalyst for Sora to get her act together and for Biyomon to digivolve for the first time was awesome. And Skull Meramon is still bone-chilling to me. And I used him in my intro for this video because I really do think he's a cool design that gets overlooked. I would spend days in Dark Tower Wasteland leveling with him, and that's where I met a couple of my DMO friends too. I still haven't attempted his dungeon, but I know I have to farm for the Vice stuff one day. Boltmon is just okay to me, but I truly love Genkamon, which I also need to finish, because having those quests in my quest log when there's a limit is starting to really get annoying. But Demi-Meramon will always have a place in my heart. And now we're going to go through the honorable mentions really fast, rapid fire, here we go. Anubismon, Beetlemon, Betamon, Chaos Gallantmon and Gallantmon, Craniummon, Dexter Greymon, Doraemon, Dynasmon, Fusamon and Baumon, Garurumon, Metal Garurumon, Grappleomon, Gigimon, Griffinmon, Kyokyomon, Mastamon, Minomon, Mirage Galgamon, Monmon, Moon Millenniumon, Nyaromon, Renamon and Cubimon, Striketramon and Cyberdramon, Tentamon, Kabuterimon, Mega Kabuterimon, Sunomon, Upamon, Valkyremon, and Viximon. Whew, I didn't think I'd make it through all of that. And now, as of recently with the release of Digimon Liberator, we've got the entire Terramon line. From Terramon to Galemon to Grand Galemon to Zephagamon. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. Number 1. I mean, yeah, I guess I should have seen this coming. A new bird-themed rookie after years of already loving Hawkmon, and he's wind-based, with similar markings? Like, yup, I didn't stand a chance. But look at those designs! Terramon reminds me of Jet from Sonic Riders, 100% a guilty pleasure game. Galemon is just dope as hell, and Grand Galemon reminds me of a knight standing guard, and I'm an absolute sucker for anything with knights and medieval references. And Zephagamon, still unsure about that pronunciation, looks like something straight out of a 90s RPG. I want them to be in DMO so badly. I'd pay any amount they'd ask for. I'd spend Terra to get him to 140, and perfect clone him. Even if he was absolutely garbage stat-wise, I'd make him my main. Please. But really, I'm looking forward to the future with these designs and other Digimon media. I'm kinda hoping for a dim card or something, because the little virtual pets don't really fully interest me, especially if it's not tied to a cosplay-style Digivice. Or, they could just put out more Digimon games. That works too. When I was recording, I also forgot to add Fluffymon to this, and Fluffymon is part of the Terramon line, so yeah, that's just gonna be shoehorned in. Fluffymon number 5 in the top number 1 spot. Good God, we made it. I finally finished my, top 10? Can I even call it that if it included multiple 10s of Digimon? Whatever. Now you all know some of my favorites. And who knows, maybe I showed you some Digimon you never really thought about before. But, well, as I've been working on this, DMO put out a new update, and I haven't really been able to read the patch notes, so I'm gonna go do that now. But anyways, take care, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!